Hello, MatMart.
Yeah, what's up?
How you doing, man?
I don't know. I just woke up.
How's your sleep? Was it good? Was it bad?
Nah, it's just
A nap?
how do I sleep? I've been sleeping pretty good as of recent, actually, but that's not usually the case.
How's life been in general?
Oh man, no, it's partially, dude. I have like nothing going on in my life aside from YouTube, sort of. So I don't know.
How? Why? What's up?
Uh,
Like you
hmm.
kind of made like YouTube like the only thing you do in like day to day life now.
Not on purpose, but that's definitely just been the pattern.
I mean, I've seen you do a lot of things. You're either in a lot of people's videos or you're working on the Restoration Union. How's that been, by the way? I have seen like either you or somebody from like that team do so much work. How has it been working with Restoration Union?
Let me think. So Restoration Union, that was cool to get into because obviously I've known them for years. So yeah, it was pretty interesting once I got inside. I wouldn't say I've done much work for Restoration Union above the whole like ice carbide neck situation, but I'm usually good for like helping them get connections to creators they otherwise wouldn't have. Like someone in there was making like a collab and they needed my help to contact Abstract Dark, and I told Abstract Dark about this, and he has some like 8-year old part in a collab that was never used. So that's usually what I'm able to help for, connection, spreading the word, etc. Like,
Yeah, that
yeah.
that is sick. That is pretty much that is nice to hear. Outside of like just content stuff, like anything else that you do, like editing wise, do you enjoy like editing the stuff that you do with damn, hold up.
No, I don't really enjoy editing. That's partially, yeah. I don't enjoy editing. That's partially why my videos always have like editors and shit. I've not majority edited a big video on my channel since 2022.
So you have like a team that does it for you.
Yeah, I mean, I help with directions. I help with like a lot of stuff like timelining, but I just I'm just not. I don't know. It's my big issue is I was always perfectionist in my early years, right? So I,
Yeah,
I just couldn't grow as a result of that. Or no, I couldn't. Okay, so I was actually really consistent, but believe it or not, my most consistent years was in 2020. Despite the fact that in 2020 I literally got less than 1,000 subs for doing like many of these videos all myself, right?
yeah,
So then that all changed around March 2021 when Hardcore dropped. Hardcore got like 100K views, and it was my first video to get 100K views like ever, and it did so in less than a month. So after Hardcore, I started thinking more about like how my videos are reaching these wide audiences, and just naturally these gaps started to form. Like the month before Hardcore, I'd uploaded 2 videos, right? Granted, they were shorter, like 4-minute videos. But then the month, like it took me like 2 months to drop my next video, which was Worst Levels, which was then another banger that got like to this day nearly 1 million views. So it's like after that, there began to be this sort of like pressure on me to edit, and it's like, I mean, it's not instantly figure outable or whatever. But if you look at my videos, so much of them have like these like precise frame cuts, like
yeah.
for example, my most recent video, or one of my most recent, is called Geometry Dash, but you are the spike. It's like every frame of that video was meticulously like cut through to make sure that it results in the best thing possible. And at a certain point, it's just not fun because
You kind of
I
just
feel like sometimes I'm,
wait.
I'm doing all this for like nothing, like no one's ever gonna notice. And I feel like for the most part I'm right, but I hope that at least like subconsciously they notice.
Yeah, because most of your videos are on like very interesting topics or something that not only just people would watch, but they also cover like the more interesting things that you kind of think about on a daily basis, but you kind of don't really do it,
Yeah.
which is nice because it is rare that somebody is going to do some stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is there like a video that you're like the most proud of when you were doing stuff alone and now? Like, what are those videos that like you're the most proud of?
Okay, well, easily when I wouldn't say alone, but I did majority edit the video. It would be the day Geometry Dash almost died. I edited around like 11 out of the 17 total minutes. And that video, oh my god. Every day I woke up that summer. Okay, so to put in a context, right? When I first started my channel, it was mainly because I wanted to do what I viewed as reviving the Geometry Dash community. So in January of 2020, I viewed the Geometry Dash community as like it's never been more dead. And nowadays, I'd say mainly when COVID hit, a ton of GD people came back, and you saw this sort of resurgence in content, like the whole like the Kinos group with like Nepesta and such,
Yeah,
where it's like, oh, they're doing these stream highlights and they're getting hundreds of thousands of views. But like January 2020 was like right before that. So oh yeah, and obviously I'd say like peaceful and B were probably the most important levels to hit the servers at that time, because like peaceful especially reignited a level of like virality that had not been seen since like probably Zodiac.
yeah,
So
it's been a while.
so yeah, anyways, when I went my first video as MatMart was the Geometry Dash documentary episode 1, which was heavily based off the Super Smash Bros documentary that made in 2013, right? And that documentary was crediting for like pretty much making a whole new generation of Smash Brothers Melee players, which is why they're literally called like Doc Kids. Like a person that you might know from that generation is Ludwig. Ludwig started his career as a Smash Melee person, sort of,
Yeah, and now he's
and
a
he was, from what I heard,
soloish.
inspired from that doc, right?
Yeah, he was.
So pretty much that's what I wanted to do, but for Geometry Dash. Now, obviously, I didn't really have the skills to do it. I didn't understand the algorithm at all. So all the old thumbnails, they look like there's way too much on screen. There's like 8 or 9 like cubes, and that was just me thinking. I really wanted to treat my thumbnails like an art form. Like, oh, I want to include all these little references. But over time, I've learned the simpler your thumbnails are, the better usually. Uh,
Yeah, that
it's
that
nice to
that
include one
is
or two important elements, but
it is
having
something.
like 8 of them doesn't work.
It is something you do learn over time, which becomes like an interesting skill. Because back then it was more or less what you want to create and how you want to make it feel. Now it's kind of just like what works for the algorithm.
Yeah. So pretty much over time in 2020. Oh wait, how did I get to this? Oh, okay. No, no, no. Okay, I know what I was explaining. So over time, obviously, initially my main passions were documentaries, right? But
Yeah,
when hardcore blew up, I noticed, oh shit, this is like pretty much my first gameplay challenge video, and it's blowing up beyond all my other documentaries. If I want to turn YouTube into a job of sorts, or like take it seriously, I think I need to focus on this sort of like gameplay challenge style, right? Now, the gameplay challenge style was unique at the time because no one else in the GD community had really done a gameplay challenge style that was told like a documentary. Because hardcore has this sort of like post commentary to it where it's like, it's not
yeah,
just me playing the game in terms of like a stream highlights format. It's me saying, oh, first I went into Stereo Madness, then I went to the background track. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, yeah, it's a style no one's really seen before, and it's definitely more popular nowadays. I think people like Ender have done a video like that, Vortrox. And yeah, I'd like to say it started with hardcore challenge, but people say I'm egotistical every time I do. It's like, yeah, it's whatever. So pretty much.
I mean,
Let me think here.
it
So
is the fact that my most and the most common word I've used is it is because it is kind of funny that when something is big and you're proud of it, it's always going to be like you're egotistical about it. Like, what if I just want to be
mhm,
proud of like my most popular video? Maybe there's a reason why it's popular, and it's because I enjoyed to
yeah,
making it.
I think part of it is that like I always see people like being credited for like pioneering certain styles, but I just never see that same sort of thing with me. So like probably a few years ago, I used to be like kind of insecure about that. I was like, damn, like why does no one in the community ever talk about anything that I do? And to some extent, I do feel that way now, but I've gone to understand why that is a lot more. And I think once I get a consistent upload schedule, maybe that'll change. But pretty much, I pivoted from documentaries despite that being my main passion at the time, right? My main passion, tell the story of the Geometry Dash community, show everyone how awesome it is, right?
Yeah,
And I still was able to do like sort of documentary style videos like worst levels and have that post commentary style, but I never did something historical throughout like the rest of 2021 until Samifying drops the funny game documentary in March of 2022. I saw this get a million views. I was stunned by the video, the animations, the storytelling. It was great. And then I thought, well, if Samifying can get 1 million views telling us a passionate story about the history of the game, well, I couldn't die, right? So immediately, that summer when school ended, I was like, okay, here's a story I want to tell that I wanted to tell for a long time now. And that's the story of Bloodlust specifically, right? But one of my biggest inspirations was also FitMC, who told the story of the day 2B2T almost died. In
yeah,
my opinion, one of the best videos I've ever seen on this platform. So I took what Samifying did with Funny Game and thought, how could I make a narrative about bloodlust that's never been seen before? Because I think Floroni or someone might have had the history of bloodlust, but in my opinion, they didn't add the level of like emotional depth that I think would have made for a truly great documentary. So I used the so I expanded my scope. Bloodlust doesn't have to be just a story about Naba Boy. How about make it the story of the main host, Mannix, right?
Yeah.
And let me think here. Mannix had these two other levels that I thought could tie very interestingly into the narrative. There was a sentence from an old C1997 video where he said something like, "Bloodlust, Fusion Z, Blade of Justice. Why are all these big projects of the future failing?" Because at the time they all were. It was like late 2017, and all projects were seemingly in the dirt. So I thought I could make this about Mannix and Naba Boy, the only two people who have relation to all three levels in some way. So and I could also tie that into the way that the day Geometry Dash almost died, because from my perspective, like in early 2018, Geometry Dash really was a boring game to be a part of. I did not really have fun, and I was considering quitting at the time. And the only thing that I remember anyone in the community keeping track of was like, "Yo, when is Bloodlust going to come out?" Because the assumption was pretty much if Bloodlust comes out, then 2.2 will come out, because 2.1 came out right after Yatagarasu was verified, and 2.0 came out after Bloodbath was verified.
Yeah.
So that was the whole thought at the time. So I thought the whole bloodlust arc of like Naba Boy getting 97 and 98, and then finally eventually getting 100% way later would be way more effective if in the middle of that I also told the story of Blade of Justice and how that failed, and Fusion Z and how that failed, and how Mannix and Naba Boy literally like feuded with each other. You know what I mean? It makes it so that the whole documentary, it feels like everything's going down. It feels like stuff's getting depressing. There's all these battles like Naba Boy versus Redacted, and then finally at the end, Naba Boy has the redemption. He gets 100%, and that feels like it resuscitates the community for a little while, and then the community keeps themselves up. Even if we might have been closer to death in like 2019 and 2020, we'll pretty much always be here as long as the Geometry Dash servers are here. That's what I like to think, and that's why I'm really proud of like the story I was able to tell with the day Geometry Dash almost died, in terms of a video that I had majority control in. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because it is something that's kind of hopped into like my mind was whenever I watch like somebody make a video on either the day history changed, the day anything happens, those stories will have both a temporary and a permanent change. Same with just how recently, as of 2025, with Unearth Sucoup and Circles being verified, with Toro GD just being left in the dust after. Not saying the achievement is bad, but with being that close to making history and then all of it just blew because of a simple mistake was by far one of the most devastating things I've ever seen that happened just this year alone.
I'm not sure what situation you're talking about, to be honest.
Uh, the unearthed Sakupan circles being verified by Adu Gaming. It
Okay, and I'm guessing someone else got a big fail on that beforehand.
Yeah, it was 82 or 83. It was
Oh
basically
no, I think I saw that actually. It was like they went into a wrong path.
yeah, because the problem that was for a long time is she was practicing the top path for a long time, but that transition doesn't always work with the top path. No matter how much you do it, it's like when you're that nervous, you're not gonna make it to the top. And
Right.
she didn't make it to the top, and the victor just went down and practically made history.
Yeah, I mean that's happened many times in history.
Yeah.
Um,
But what do you think from your own perspective? What is the best history moment that you've both witnessed and talked about on your channel?
okay, well, your question did have two parts. You both asked me what is my favorite video that I've had a majority part of, and my favorite video in general, because those are different answers.
Yeah.
I consider the day Geometry Dash almost died to probably be like somewhere between my third to fifth best video of all. Actually, no, fourth to fifth best video of all time. I consider my top three to undoubtedly be the Carmel documentary and number three, the Carmel and Zobros documentary, I should say.
Yep.
Um, I did try to get Zobros for an interview, by the way, but look, that Zobros guy is mysterious. Okay, he only lets the cool guys like Viper interview him. He doesn't let Poor old me with my 50 interview question list, interviews over. But I got a Carmel interview, which was, I mean, Carmel's a legend. He's in my Mount Rushmore probably. So
Yeah.
I definitely more than appreciated the fact that he hopped on for a call. Anyways, that's my number 3. Number 2 would be Geometry Dash, but You Are the Spike, released this year. That video, oh my goodness. I rewatch it to this day. I mean, I rewatch all my videos dozens of times sometimes for my very favorite ones. Because really, a part of what makes being a YouTuber appealing to me is like, I'm the only one who's able to create videos exactly how I want to create videos, right? Now, I know it sounds ironic for me to say because I have editors do stuff, but that's partially because I believe the editors just straight up are better than me when it comes to editing. This is partially because I've been very bad at teaching myself new skills historically. I don't like that aspect of myself, and I really do want to change eventually. But I always find myself so busy that I'm like, can I really dedicate today to learning the editor? um, which I believe the answer is yes, but I'm just my brain's scrambled eggs sometimes, right? So pretty much number 2 is Geometry Dash, but You're the Spike because the Blender animation, the whole story arc with Voxcat and Zoink, and just everyone in that video was entertaining. King Samala, Colin, Electrify, everyone was firing on all cylinders, and I just love that video. That video is just very fun to watch. One of my funniest videos out. But number 1 is I keep forgetting what the video's title is, but it's the most controversial rivalry in Geometry Dash history, right? Or the controversy that changed Geometry. I don't know, something like that. Anyways, it's my video with Riot and Cyclic as the main subjects, and I got interviews from Sandstorm and Noise, which were both great. Now, that video, in my opinion, has the moment that probably changed, like my favorite history moment ever, which would be when Cyclic admits to hacking everything. Cyclic admitting to hacking everything pretty much led to my two biggest inspirations in like the 2017 era were probably C and Floroni, and they both talked about the Cyclic hacking scandal in some of their biggest videos. With C, it was like the history of Geometry Dash's rivalry, and with Floroni, it was like top 10 controversial moments. Right? Both of
Yeah.
them talked about the Cyclic thing, and the way that they described it, the way that Cyclic's confession shook waves throughout the community, I was like, enthralled by that when I was younger, because it's like, oh my god, dude, like Cyclic, I used to look up to this guy, and now he's a fucking hacker. What is this, right? But I always sort of held this suspicion about Cyclic, as in I looked up to him, but I looked up to him so much that I really couldn't accept the fact that he was a hacker. Especially after people like Rob Top and people like Riot, they looked at stuff like Cataclysm and they were like, there's nothing wrong with this video. How could it possibly be that Cyclic is the only 2015 hacker to have hacked videos and just not be caught? Obviously, the method was possible, but I believe it took until like end level in like 2018 or 2017 to really come up with a method that made hacking undetectable. This is partially why the daemon list requires you to have clicks nowadays, because admittedly, it's easier for someone like Cyclic to hack if they don't have to put clicks in their footage. But clicks in the footage was not the expectation. Now, all the other big guys of the time, Gyron, Sandstorm, and Riot, did stream, which obviously furthers their legitimacy more than they already were, right?
Yep.
But Cyclic's from Korea. It's feasible that he wouldn't Twitch stream to a largely English audience. You know what I mean? I don't think everyone, like for example, an entirely legit player that was also very good back then, Korea Core, right? He wouldn't Twitch stream because why the fuck would he? he would get like 2 viewers. Um, and yeah, Twitch streaming adds this level of pressure that many top players wouldn't want any part of, right? So I always had this idea: what if Cyclic really only did hack the Hellzone and Sonic Wave? You're telling me that he did a botched job when making the videos for the Hellzone and Sonic Wave, his 2 hardest achievements? That just doesn't make any sense to me. There's no way that those are the only 2 videos with like footage proof. If he was that bad at hiding the fact that he hacked Sonic Wave, why wouldn't he be that bad at hiding the fact that he hacked Cataclysm? That's an earlier video after all, right? So I asked members of the Demon List team, yo, can you review this stuff? See if Cyclic was truly a hacker? And no one really found anything. Now, that's when I just decided, okay, I'm going to make a video, and it's going to be just a video that I've wanted to make for years, right? Originally, this was going to be a part of like the Geometry Dash documentary episode 4, but I don't really like the whole like the Geometry Dash documentary episode format. So 4 is definitely never going to come out, but the best way that I like to describe it is what would have been Geometry Dash documentary episode 4 through 9 will be like scattered across documentaries. Like, for example, the day Geometry Dash almost died was largely like plot points that would have been in like episode 6 or 7 of that, right? So the day the Geometry Dash documentaries will always be here, just in a different form, right?
Yep.
So yeah, Rivalry is the video I'm most proud of because I mean all the editors went fucking insane on it. It's just oh my god, so much animations and so much like just great interview footage from Riot, Sandstorm, and Noise. The way that I was able to like integrate them, I'm like really proud of myself for that because it's way different to hear like a guy saying like, "Oh, this is what happened," than it is like Riot being like, "Okay, I was there, and here were the emotions I was feeling when I played Bloodlust," or Sandstorm being like, "Here's how I reacted when Cyclic, hacked." It makes the story way more personal in a way that I rarely see Geometry Dash documentaries do for whatever reason. Like, really, the only person who I can think of who is a bit inspired by me is Ender, in the way that he puts interview footage in the middle of videos. No one really does that for some reason. Samifying had a segment like that in the funny game one, but that was like at the end sort of. So yeah, I don't know, but the way interviews are able to be whatever, and also the way I'm able to treat Cyclic as this sort of morally gray character. He's both the person who dethroned Sari, yet the person who decided that with the amount of pressure he was facing and the sort of unstoppable 144 hertz riot that he felt the need to hack for the Hell Zone and Sonic Wave. He was the last pillar of GW, the only thing keeping them above GS in at least one conversation. But when Cyclic falls, everything is GS. Michigan is the number one leaderboard player. Viperin is the number one creator above Zentic Alpha. And now Riot is the number one Demonless player above Cyclic. I could have expanded on that narrative a bit more, but these are all the thoughts that go through my head when I make a documentary. You know what I mean? I think, what are the wider implications of this? What does this mean? Right? But you could see how, because I have all these standards for me, the fact that Rivalry only got like 800 or 900,000 views to this day is sort of a disappointment to me. Like, to anyone, that would be like fucking insane. But for me, I'm thinking I put so much like effort and thought into this. And, sometimes I see some other video that's like way worse than mine's get like 5 million. And I'm like, fucking hell. You know what I mean? So it's like, honestly, that's probably why I haven't released a documentary since then, partially. That and it was a bit like, how do I say this? It was weird to see Cyclic say like, "Oh no, yeah, I did hack everything." When Doggy got an interview with him, because I thought
Yeah.
like, "Oh, Doggy got an interview with Cyclic so easily." he didn't get interviewed by me. So I'm just thinking, that sucks. But sometimes that just that happens. I think Cyclic was in military when I was making my documentary, so it likely wouldn't have been as possible as it is for him now. Honestly, I don't know what to think because to this day, I don't really see proof that Cyclic hacked videos like Cataclysm. So if Cyclic's just still maintaining the lie, I wonder why. And if he's not, then it sort of makes the video that I put everything into, my magnum opus,
Kind of
kind of
worthless.
useless in the wider discussion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
because it's the same thing like we had with Space and other top people that were cheaters. Is the methods come out only maybe years later or like at the point where they're at their peak. So once everything is found out, it's kind of just like just the whole blown like a bag of shit.
yeah.
But it
Anyways, yeah, those
is.
are my two favorite videos from, yeah.
Has there
Hope that makes
like
sense.
has there been a point where your standards weren't so high? Because I see you still till this day, even if it's not like through community posts, but when you're in videos, you kind of just seem to kind of beat yourself to not making something the perfectest that exists. Because you're not the first person that I've talked to that has like a super high standard where they regret half the stuff they did in like older videos. They could have done this better, could have made it earlier, could have made it this and that to have it more views.
Oh yeah, no, I for sure think that. Like with the Carmel doc, it's number 3 for me, but honestly, I wish I included a lot more of the Carmel interview footage. The reason I couldn't was because by the time I realized that I could interview Carmel to make the documentary way better, the documentary was over half done. That's partially why there's no clips of Carmel during the Zobro segment. The Zobro segment was pretty much entirely edited. I also thought introducing Carmel when Love Baba hit just kind of made more sense as like a natural story thing. But he did tell me some interesting thoughts that he had on Zobros levels, and maybe some more emotional depth that I could have included in the overall doc, like I don't know, Carmel's digital descent part. That I think I could have, yeah, like the documentary is great for only being like 23 minutes long, but someone told me years ago, it's like you put all this research into videos, yet you sort of come up with this very simplified product, which is like fair enough, I guess. I'd like to think I'd strike a balance, but it feels impossible nowadays. So, yeah.
Yeah, it is true. Because no matter how we're looking at it, it's just so weird to kind of make a video and then people just going out of their way to be like, you could have done this better, you could have done this better. But then again, it's not like you can
Oh,
think you can't think like in future, like in future
mhm.
100%. You can only think of what's now, because I talked to Lake, and he also had like the same problem where a lot of since he didn't play a lot of game, he didn't know like a lot of the insider information, so he was limited on what he could find on Google or anywhere else on Discord. But with you having all of this information, insiders, you have connections, you can't make everything 100% correct, because there's always going to be something that's going to be missed out, just in case somebody wants to kind of make like the most perfectest video.
Yeah, while I do get criticism from some people, like some people in RU are very critical of some of the content I put out in the past. Honestly, I consider my main critic to be myself. I think the vast majority of people don't give a shit that like I could have introduced like 1 or 2 minutes of extra caramel footage, or that I could have had his digital descent part like shown. I think the vast majority of people just watch it, think it's good. I don't get a lot
Yeah.
of bad comments, with the exception of like one video, where I like interviewed or reviewed the 2.2 levels, or like the early ones, and yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of people saw the title for that video and just immediately went to comment, because I literally gave all the levels like high scores, like 23 out of 30. But people were like, "Oh my god, you're hating on the new 2.2 update," and it's like, no, that's not what I meant.
Yeah, like
But yeah,
being too critical on something just doesn't make sense nowadays, because sometimes you have to be fully honest if something is bad, but you can't really be, because if it kind of just there was one video that I was watching once where it was just talking about like the worst levels to ever touch like GD servers, and most criticism didn't come from the fact that it was the levels that were mentioned. It was how it was represented, and it was somebody's first attempt at making geometry content, and just never happened, which is kind of unfortunate, because GD content it's interesting to make, but it's gotten to an interesting peak where there's not much to really talk about. It's either forgotten
no, I
stuff.
disagree. I think if people had my idea list, they would very quickly stop that notion of thinking. I have like 50 ideas that I have planned. I just don't have the time to do all. So you'll see them slowly rolled out. But I guess not everyone thinks like me. Oh, I'm so special.
I
But
mean, I mean,
no, I definitely have more than enough to keep myself busy for the next few years.
no, I will say that your way of thinking is pretty positive and is pretty good. I mean,
Eh.
if I go back onto like older videos, those are more or less just showcases, and then out of all of them is a new Clash Royale hack found for unlimited gems.
Oh, I mean, the vast majority of my older videos are unlisted because I mean, I just didn't think it made sense to have like 250 videos of like a younger me talking, just playing like Minecraft and shit. Like, I kept the ones that I found like really funny, and like just a few of them, like my first video, just for history reasons. But otherwise, there's no reason for the other unlisted videos to come back. No one's gonna watch my Fire Red Nuzlocke number 11, where I have like a shit mic and air in the background. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, is there anything big that we can expect from like in the next, I don't know, year or two from you? Like big title videos.
Okay. I won't say any specific title
No,
videos.
you don't have to.
However,
Just a number.
no, okay. So my second most recent video as of right now is we added PvP, or we added fighting to Geometry Dash. Now, this is me working with the Globe team to make a mod that has like, these global triggers, where pretty much if a item ID is triggered on one person's screen, it transfers on everyone else's screen. And the amount of ideas I have in relation to this, that I have like literally over 20 creators as of right now working on separately, it's absolutely insane. GD will never see anything like this, or hasn't seen anything like this yet. And I'm not sure if they ever will again, because these videos, let's say they cost a lot, all right? So yeah, that's what I'm currently in the midst of, and you're gonna see some massive ideas in the future.
I was gonna ask, what was the most expensivest video you've made to this day?
Oh, as of right now, hmm, I don't know.
Not
It's in like the 1,000, like 300, $400 ballpark, which means that I need around like 700K views to just break even on that, not counting my time.
that's it. That is interesting. Okay, what are you doing in GD, by the way? Are you building a level now?
No, I'm just playing like Bloodbath in practice mode.
How's Boba been treating you now? Has it been good?
I'm just fucking. I'm just. How do I say this? This
Go.
ADHD, man, I can't do one thing anymore. I got to do like a million things at once, and that's part of why I'm rarely able to focus on the editor. It feels like kind of pathetic to say that because I'm like, I remember when I used to be able to like I don't know focus on like building fucking train tracks when I was 4 and shit, but now it's like, no, yeah, your brain's scrambled fucking eggs because all this social media and shit's got you fucked up.
Yeah, like
That's
so
partially why I don't
much.
do shit in my real life, or at least why I consider that I don't do shit in my real life. Because it's like, oh man, I'm always so fucking distracted. It sucks.
I mean, you do talk about like your egotism. Is it really something that really hurts, like the stuff that you do, or is it just because you just say it because you think it's funny?
In terms of what?
In like general, like whether it be friendships or just normal conversations, because throughout this like whole small talk that we had, you don't know me, I know tad bits about you, is you've
Hmm.
always said that you have like this like egotism where you think your stuff is better than others, or you think your stuff is kind of worse than this, you could have improved on. Like, has that been like a mentality that hurts you, or was it just something that you've kind of grown up with over time, like it's
Oh well,
become?
it is worth noting. If I see someone make something better than me, I'm willing to admit that they make something better than me. Like someone who I think made the arguable best, like I don't know, like 2024 video is Sputnik's What video. Like
Yep.
I entirely understand why someone would put Sputnik's What video above my rivalry documentary. I wouldn't have much qualms with that. I just have my own way of ranking my videos in my head. You know what I mean?
Do you
Um,
do you rank yourself more positively, or like do you damn? Do you rank yourself more higher and highly of it, like think highly of yourself than others?
I consider myself probably the second greatest Geometry Dash YouTuber of all time, maybe first. But I put Colin above me because mainly like longevity. He's been here since like 2015, and really the only YouTuber from that era who's willing to make consistently like unique content. The only reason I'd rank myself that high, and I don't expect anyone else to have me that high, is because my content's literally what I watch the most. Like when I got like the YouTube gaming, like, oh, what are your most watched creators in 2024? It was literally just me rewatching myself like more than 2 times the next person. I just like my own content. I don't know what to say. That's just my opinion.
That
I
that
wouldn't, make the content I do if I didn't like it. So yeah.
that is piquing interest. I usually ask this every single person as the question of the day is, who do you think would be the next interesting person I could have a pleasant conversation with, or do like an interview?
I don't fucking know, to be honest.
Do you have anybody in your mind?
To be honest, like I don't really expect this video to get views, but part of why I do videos like these is because I have like all these thoughts about my content that I'd like to express in some way.
Yeah,
So this is like
it is it
just
is
one of the
it is
ways that I
something
do it.
that I've accepted ever since doing it. Is if every single one of these things fails, at least if I ever have a blow up at some point, I just kind of like doing stuff like this because the positivity I get from other people is you can't really post stuff about yourself on like your channel because it would not make sense if you're all about documentaries or like just full perfect on perfect content. Document like talking about
Mhm.
yourself just does not fit anywhere there.
Yeah, most this would be something on my second channel, MatMart More, which I have posted on in over 4 years.
Yeah,
So yeah.
but yeah, I
I
mean,
originally made it, believe it or not, to intercept the whole like shorts thing. I was gonna be like, I'm gonna post shorts on Matmar more and just keep the long videos on Matmar. But then I posted like the Killbot level review, which was meant to be a short because it's 1 minute long. But I didn't realize at the time that shorts were only meant to be seen vertically. This was when shorts were only like a beta feature in India,
yeah,
way before anyone in the USA actually got access to it, I think.
yep,
So I was like really testing the market with that. And then after I realized that wasn't a short, I was just like, I think I won't create another one of these again.
true. It,
So
it
yeah.
it is something that like you can't really upload unless you have a both long form and short form good viewer age. Because
Mhm.
if you upload shorts, your channel is just pretty much cooked.
Yeah.
Learned from my mistake 3 times now. Racked views now I can't crank them because gotta escape the shorts algorithm.
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, thanks for sitting down having this conversation. I'm
Hey,
I'm
no
al-
problem.
I'm always happy with a small conversation, even if you said if this doesn't get views. I kind of just started this because I want more people to talk about like themselves. It's hard to express what you want to do, like how you feel, how you think, what you think your stuff is better, or like what do you enjoy to do, without it interfering in your own channel.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm trying to think. With the first few questions, I feel like I feel like I just woke up, so I didn't really have any good answers to that. So I don't know if like you're like entirely satisfied with whatever answers I gave for the first few questions.
I mean, if you want to rerun some questions that you think you can improve on, is all up to you.
Yeah, I mean,
Because
it's up to you.
I'm pretty much always satisfied with what I'm given, because at least you talk outside of that commentary voice. You It's pretty much the same thing, one or two. You just talk about how you feel about stuff, what you want to do. I don't expect people to go out of their way to express everything they do in life, everything they do outside the content, like in like a one-on-one representation.
Yeah.
But
Let me think here. Yeah, no, I mean the whole commentary voice thing. That's something I sort of got from like FitMC and Implement. I'd say my voice is almost like tries to be a mix of the two, where it's like, uh, I feel like if I voice videos in a compelling way, it just makes it more interesting. Uh, and yeah,
so
that's why I do what I do.
yeah, it was one of those things I was gonna ask. Like, who were like the biggest inspirations for you?
FitMC, Emplemon, C1997, River Siver like extremely early on because of
Yeah,
my whole like creator review caramel series. But obviously River Siver, he did some things I disagree with. So it's hard to call him an inspiration nowadays, but it is what it is, you know. Everyone in the Geometry Dash community back then with like a an AI voice like Juniper, for example, when she still did an AI voice, they were inspired by River Siver. He
yeah.
was the first to do that, to my knowledge.
Because
So yeah.
he was one of the more entertaining people in the beginning of Geometry documentaries.
Yeah, and
And
his
then
video reviewing all the caramel levels is why caramel was the first subject of my creator review. So yeah, I don't know. Bigger inspiration early on.
it is nice. FitMC, because he did most of the 2B2T stuff. Are you interested outside of GD, like Minecraft or any other game? Or is like your the interest nowadays just Geometry?
I very rarely play other games. Like I've been playing a bit of Deltarune recently, but that's a huge exception. Because normally the games I play are literally just like Geometry Dash. I used to play a bit of Minecraft multiplayer. In fact, I developed, in my opinion, one of the probably the best Minecraft mini game of all time. And I'm not even just saying that to hype myself up. Like everyone who played that shit thought it was fire. But I might speak on that in a future MatMart more video because the details regarding that Minecraft mini game are very interesting. But yeah, it was developed with Cobb. And okay, so yeah, it's pretty much just Geometry Dash, Minecraft, and Smash Bros. Ultimate. But honestly, like Smash Bros. Ultimate, I main Puff, and it feels so demotivating every time, or it feels demotivating nowadays because in my opinion, the games used to have a very like healthy meta early on, but nowadays it's like all these DLC characters that I fucking hate to face, and it's like, oh yeah, no, we'll just add Steve, which like you need to play like a fucking god to be able to beat with Puff, and the Steve only has to play like okay to beat you. It's like it just makes the game less fun nowadays. So honestly, I don't even feel limited when I realize that Geometry Dash is the only thing I can do because Geometry
Yeah,
Dash is really the only thing I'd want to do. It's the only game that I really have unique ideas to add to the table with, and especially with the whole globe thing, I never feel like I'm limited in a box to Geometry Dash like some other people feel like. So yeah,
yeah.
I like it.
I mean, I'll probably be heading out, but yeah, still. 100 times. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Hey
it.
man, no problem. I can send you my recording.
What recording?
No, I recorded myself because my voice would sound worse over Discord.
I mean, it doesn't sound that bad. It sounds pretty alright.
I can send you my recording and you tell me what you think, all right?
Alright.